This is one of my favourite cards in the collection because it is so simple but looks just so effective. Now I've started off with a 7x7 card blank, and what I've done is I've cut a piece of matted and laid cardstock, just some plain white cardstock, down to 6x6. Now you can see that I'm going to emboss this, but then I want to die cut the butterfly coming out of here, and I don't want it to overcut any areas where I've got the embossed panel. So I'm just going to lie that on there. Make sure I do the cutting in the right place. And remember, these dies will work universally with any of your die cutting machines. For this specific card, you just need to make sure you have a one that has a 6-inch opening, which to be honest is most die cutting machines. Now they are very, very intricate dies, so what you need to make sure is you are going to get, if you don't get a cut on the first time through, you may just need to pass it through your machine a few times, or you may need to add an extra shim in there. Now each of these dies is a cutting and embossing die. So the first time through there we've done our cutting, and then what happens is we take out the cutting mat, flip these over, you can see there it's done all of the cutting, and then what we do is we add on the rubber shim and we're going to take it through a second time for the embossing. There we go. Now while we're doing that, I can be getting my base card ready. So I've got the 7x7 tent fold, and what I've done is I've just taken a sheet of Centura Pearl and a piece of the paper from the matching paper pad, and I'm just matting and layering this over the front. So this comes over the front like this, and then that is going to layer onto the front of my card. And I'm just doing the matting and layering here with a tape pen because it doesn't need any manoeuvring really if you're confident where you're positioning it down. So there's the front of the card ready to go while we've been doing our cutting. So if we lift that back out, what you'll find is you'll be able to remove the embossing mat, and that die should just lift out of the cardstock. Now I'll pop the butterfly to one side because we're going to come back to that next. But I'll just take away all the extra pieces, and you see you've got that lovely embossed detail there around the butterfly. And if you didn't want the embossed detail around the butterfly, you would just lift the butterfly out and do the extra embossing before you take that in, before you take it a second time through your machine. And then this now is going to go inside the embossing folder, and I'm just going to make sure, as we lie that under, you want to make sure that all of your card is being embossed and we're not embossing over the butterfly. So it's going to go there, and then that is going to get embossed through the machine, okay? Now while that's going through, I'm going to take out my pokey tool and release the grand butterfly. And it really is a beautiful die and very, very detailed. Both the cutting and the embossing is very detailed on this. So I'm just going to take my time and release this from the corner. There we go. So when I say the detail, you can see now the detail that we've got there in that butterfly as I release it. And all of these extra little pieces are just going to lift out. And you see the little landlocked areas there will easily just push through. There we go. So if we bring this back in, you'll see now there is that beautiful embossed detail over the front of the card. And I'm going to raise that up. What we're going to do is use the Collall 3D glue gel. So I'm just popping a little bit more of this into the tube, and the Collall 3D glue gel, it's like a silicone substitute, so it gives you the three-dimensional effect of silicone without having to have that awful smell. Now if you prefer to use foam pads, I know a lot of people do, it would give you exactly the same effect. So I'm just putting plenty of this on. Oh, and then that is going to position over top. There we go. So you want to make sure that you can see that beautiful paper behind. Then I've got my actual butterfly. I'm just going to shape the wings and add on down the centre of the butterfly some little gems. So I've got some tiny little blue gems here that'll just go down the very centre. position a bit of 3D glue gel up the centre to hold that in place. And then I've just stamped out Thinking of You, and that will just come and sit in the corner. And there we have it. Very quick, very effective, very, very simple.